Alrighty, so this week we're going to continue on with creation, how we're creating, and some different aspects to creating that we might not be thinking about or know about in how we're living our day-to-day life, and then how to be more effective with our creation energy, or how to actually activate our creation energy. So this is going to come across in the same thread as all the other teaching, but a little bit different. As I evolve and grow, I share. So we are creating all the time, moment by moment, and with our thoughts, our words, and our actions. And every creation affects the entire universe. And the reason for that is because all is one and one is all. We are offspring, spiritual offspring of the divine. So we are part of the whole. So every decision that I am making, every creation I am making affects the whole, affects the whole. So nothing is done in isolation. We're always creating for the whole. That's why as we grow and elevate ourselves, we can affect the whole in a more positive way. So, I am, you are, and we are one. So every person is living or actualizing themselves and how they see themselves in that moment. So part of this lesson is going to be, looking at how we're seeing ourselves in the moment and how creation stems out of that. So the soul is not separate. Like we learned last week, the soul uses the mind and the body on its journey here on earth. So the soul has come to the body, and the body has come to life for the purpose of evolution, of becoming, of remembering that we are God, and beginning to live with awareness of our moment to moment experience. So we're creating and becoming ourself, and we're creating and knowing the self, becoming consciously what we wish to be moment by moment instead of unconsciously living. Like it's kind of like we've been taught, we're sort of living in this self-driving car. We get in and we're moving towards heaven, and I'm going to get used to the bugs in a second. We're moving towards heaven and we're sitting in the car like we're not really one with the car. Our thoughts, actions, and stuff don't really affect the car because the car's on a destination. So we are actually, that's not so. We're here in a body, and we're here to become aware and live from our awareness of being of our God self in our own life for our own growth and evolution. So in every moment that we are in, we can create out of an awareness of who and what we are in that moment and make a choice, right? So we're come here to know our highest self, to become connected again with our highest self, and to stay centered there as we live our life. And that awareness, that highest self, is sacred and holy and blessed. And until we see ourselves as sacred and holy and blessed because we are God, we are God's body here on earth, we have to connect with that first before we can see others in this way or have experience, give this gift to up. So we have to get into this relationship completely self-centered because then we begin to create and live from self, our high self, our highest and best self. So we are, all of us, everyone, as holy as God is holy. We either know it or we don't, right? So evolution of the soul, um, the soul experiencing itself in your body in each moment, creating and choosing. And so we create and choose, and if we don't care for what we chose, we can choose again. We can choose again. There isn't any judgment. So we're here to produce with our soul. Our body's the tool of the soul, just to review from last week, and the mind is the power that moves the body. So the body and mind are the tools that the soul uses to express its desire. And the desire of the soul is to experience itself as God or self-actualized. The soul is being God, not doing God, because it already is God. And we live from a place of doing, and we want to be from a place of being. So our living, speaking, and thinking is our Godding in each moment, if you think of it that way. And who are you in this moment? You can pause and think. So the mind scrambles around for the rules or the parameters because it wants to get it right and not get it wrong. But those are all concepts that we have created. Right and wrong are different for every soul, every person. So getting it right or getting it wrong doesn't mean anything, because it's only right or wrong for you or a collective, but isn't necessarily, God is neutral and doesn't have those rights and wrongs. So the mind really enjoys those constraints, because then it can be good, be best, all of that kind of stuff, which it actually creates separation between us and other people. So the soul knows and chooses in a situation, and then it chooses again, and each choice is a creation. So we are a living, creating force within a body, So we were given this great opportunity to come here forgetting that we're God, and remember now that we're God, and begin to create moment by moment from that place. Who am I in this moment? How am I being in this situation? Can I make another choice? Like, how can I recreate this into a new experience? Because how I am seeing it, how I am in it, is entirely and independently my creation. So we're in our creation, and we're creating all the time. So the reason that we get the choice is because it's the freedom to be God, right? Because obedience is a response to something, but creation is pure choice, unrequired, undictated, pure creation. It's freedom. So the function of the soul is to indicate its desire to the mind, not to impose it, but to bring us to a place where we're confronted with a choice. And the function of the mind is to choose from the alternatives that are there. And the function of the body is to act out the choice. So the soul guides us to a place. The mind then chooses from the options that are there, and the body acts it out. We're doing it all the time. So when the body, mind, and soul create together in harmony and in unity, then God is made flesh in that moment. And then the soul knows itself in its own experience. So that's, we begin to free ourselves from the shackles of the mind and the body and begin to realize that we're living from an eternal and holy place. And all of these concepts and ideas we thought we were going to be receiving from in the outer blue sky somewhere are actually coming up out of us into our life. And we are creating what is happening in our life day to day and moment to moment. And we're creating by the response that we have and the intentions that we have and all of that. So to look at the concept of how we're creating. So the universe brings to us the direct manifestation of our thought about something. So if we are saying, I want money, then the universe says, okay, you do. Like, I want a relationship. Okay, you do. I desire love. Okay, you do. I want success. Okay, you do. The universe, the genie in the bottle, is going to bring you exactly what follows the I, which is want. So you will want more and more and not receive because you are, I want money. So, okay, so you will continue to want money without it coming to you. So the I am, like we went back to our beginning, I am, you know, the I am meditation, I am, I was before, I am Audrey, I was, I am. So, you know, we could begin to tap into what we actually are wanting to create. So, you know, we could say, you know, if the universe brings us the direct manifestation of our thought about it, the word I is the key that starts the engine of creation. So I am statements are commands. So I am love, you know, I am successful, I am abundant. All of those are stating what you believe already exists for you. If you do not believe it already exists for you, then you're operating from a place of lack. So all realities exist at the same time. There's no time or there's no space. So all realities exist. So our thoughts and our words and our actions have to come into alignment with the results that we want. So if we're just saying, I'm abundant, but inside you are not believing that it is your reality, it will not happen for you because your thoughts and your actions are not backing up your words. Like we can't fool the universe into, it's not a parlor trick. I mean, we're creating all the time. If you have lack and you're like, I have lack, I want money, you're creating that. We have to change what we know to be true about ourselves. So what's the truth about us? All things exist for us. All good things exist for us. So these, a thought or a word expressed again and again and again becomes expressed or pushed out into reality. So statements or affirmations don't work if they're merely statements of what you want to be true. Affirmations only work when they are statements of what you already know to be true. So the statement affirms what is true to you. So if you feel doubt and fear while you are figuring out what it is that you are desiring to have expressed in your life, look at that, because the emotion is connected with a thought that is not in a line with what it is you are wanting to create in your world right now. So that's the adjusting, looking at how we're speaking, how we're being, looking at what we've been taught, challenging what we know already. So we're not trying to produce the results out of ourself. So, but we're affirming a known outcome. We're affirming the truth from an awareness that the results have already been produced for us. So, so like with this home I'm in, it's been a long time looking for a home. And I was approaching it, I need a home. I need a home. And I hit the bottom of myself, and then I was like, I have to believe there is the perfect home already for me, right? Already for me. And it was a huge shift in my process, because it was like a knowing light came on inside. There is a home for me, and it's right on time. And I believe that. And then it manifested very rapidly. But when I was looking at, I don't have a home, I need a home, I can't find a home, blah, 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 I continued in there. But when I released that, I said, I need a new perspective. Then I was able to receive teaching, because sometimes we block teaching because we think we know, or it's just different. And so we're blocking it, but it is actually truth. So we have to look at everything with neutrality. Look and accept everything, and then make the best choice that resonates with your soul. It will resonate with your gut. You know, there's something, if something isn't happening, it's not because it's being withheld from me, it's because I'm withholding it from myself unknowingly, with a truth or a belief or a whatever it is, right? Because we are God, so we create all the time. So thought is creative, word is creative, action is creative. Thought, word, and deed are the three levels of creation. So we have to look at our thoughts, our words, and are my actions in line with what I am believing? And or am I just sticking my toe in the water, dabbling around in the water, right? Or do I have a knowing? And I need to get to a place of knowing this is truth for me, of knowing this is the reality for me, of knowing the experience before I have the experience, so to speak. Or are we just hoping for something, right? So if we're really wanting to understand the power of our life, we have to look at the fact that we're creating all the time, and then we can begin to choose moment to moment where we're living from and the truth that we're living to. And that's really with each each opportunity, each situation, each experience of life, we have a great opportunity to create, a great opportunity to choose our soul, to understand what's the desire of my soul in this situation, in this chance, in this opportunity. Beginning to see ourselves in our God state and not in our brain state, brain body state. And it's really the question of, how can I shift my perspective? How can I see things differently? You know, I was working with someone and I was like, your assignment is to create something this week. Just try. Put it out there, create something. Test the relationship for yourself, right? And it was like it came to pass. What the person was trying to bring to pass came to pass. And it's a very exciting and revelatory time. And I said, write it down. Write them down, because as you go, you might come against a wall at one point and you're going to need to remember. So you can encourage yourself to dig in. So start with something small. Start with something small to establish the sense of, I am creating. I am actually pushing forward in my life. I'm moving in the power of my soul, or I'm choosing from my mind or my body. Like, and then pretty soon it becomes more living from a place of enlightenment, right? Where there's light, a lot more light inside. And the manifesting of our life and life experiences and opportunities is then second nature or true nature. And the conflict and struggling and figuring it out is done to a large degree. We've used our muscle. We've accepted the fact that we're gods, and we begin to play with the Play-Doh, paint on the canvas. Little things, then big things, right? Looking at if it's creative power flowing through my life and I am creating my life in the seen and unseen, then I want to see that things how they really are, so that I can receive new teaching, receive a different aspect or understanding of the universe, and recognizing that all of the power needed to heal the earth, to change, dark to light, is within each one of us. And when we begin to tap into it within our own life, realizing that we're not asking for something that is not within us. We're not waiting. Nothing is being withheld from us at all. We are one with the one. It's up to us to blaze the trail to, who am I in my soul? What brings me joy? What brings me joy in life? And do that. What's the highest and best me in this very moment? And be that. And I was, saying, okay, how can I leave every person blessed, that I come across? Like, how can I do that? And I'm not a chatty person. So to just go up and chatty to somebody is not typically, like, that's not typically me. But I was realizing in meeting my neighbors and stuff that it's enough to just look at them with unconditional love, joy in my heart, because then they're receiving that. Like, I don't have to come up with something that isn't natural for me. I can be being, and the nature of my being elevates. So we don't have to make it hard. We are God, so we are coming into the awareness and actualization of that. God comes down to earth and experiences life through us. We are God's body. God is not separate from us. That's the brain. The brain's like, wants to be the one, but it isn't. But great things come out of the brain. Brain infused with spirit has come up with a lot of medical things, a lot of science things, good things that have helped us. So that's my message today. If you need a comment or clarity about anything.
One of the big shifts, other than the one that realizing God is neutral, was shifting from I want to I have gratitude for for having it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a game changer
Mm-hmm.
of how you think about things.
Yeah, you don't feel like you don't have it, or someone's going to give it to
And
you.
realizing every doggone thought you put out there shoots out in the universe, and is either getting good things or bad things as it goes. It's like, goodness sakes.
I think it's when you said the mind and the body are tools for the soul to use, that to me is a game changer, because I never thought of it that way. And it does change everything. It's very cool.
It is, and you almost have to chew on that for a while.
I do. I'm going to have to chew on that for a little bit, but I can see how it can change things. It just a shift in perspective, like you had said before. I'm going to be thinking about that for a while. For my soul.
Yeah. Here's another one, because I was listening to in this book, and they were interviewing the author, and they were talking about gratitude, and he was like, I have feelings about gratitude, because gratitude is still putting it out there that it still came from outside, when it's coming from within inside. So thinking of it more like joy, because it's the same feeling. Gratitude, joy, and love are the same feeling. So because he's like, if you are, you're working in the yard or around the house, and you get a splinter in your right hand, and you reach over with your left hand and pull it out, you don't worship with gratitude your left hand, because it's part of the body, it's part of the whole. It works together to create the healing. So being joyful for the outcome and loving that really connected with me, because I had to really get away from that God is separate, and that you're waiting for something to come. Like, that was a big thing I had to get past from my teaching. God's out there, and you're petitioning and all of that kind of stuff. We're being God, and we're recognizing what we possess, and then when we can line it up, it comes to us, and we're joyful. We're joyful. God doesn't need anything. God is us. God can make anything. There's nothing needed. We need to get into our godness. That's what God needs. We need to start godding. That's what God needs us to start doing with joyful hearts. Oh. See what Tom said.
Also, when you said that you can just look at your neighbors with unconditional love and you don't
Yeah,
think anything back, that's just awesome. I don't know how else to say it. It's just awesome.
yeah,
You know,
Tom
because you're right.
commented on that.
Oh, well, because you're right. I mean, they're going to feel that. I mean, they're going to know that there's something about you that is accepting or whatever. They're going to feel something.
Yeah.
Just because you're putting it out there. And I think it's just a really neat way to do things and to look at I don't know, it's just a neat way to look at things.
Yeah, I had to walk that through because we're changing where we're living from, not from the mind, not from the mouth, right? We're living from the soul, which is complete, doesn't need anything, and knows all things. So living from the soul is really a beautiful, peaceful, loving place to live from, because there's no lack. There's no need for anything except the next experience. So we understand the God that we are. So it's a really amazing life we've been given to live. So. So I guess we'll meditate with the crickets, the tree frogs. The mules have left. So I'm going to close the recording.